Hello and welcome to this live demo hosted by SVA Software. I'm Rosario Newman, Solution Consultant with SVA Software. Today, I will share with you about our infrastructure monitoring solution for VMware and your multi-platform environment, giving you an end-to-end visibility into the whole infrastructure to help you meet performance service level agreements so your IT team can be more proactive into determining the IT health status of the environment, and to help you bridge silos between the team members, everybody on the same page when it's time to go through a troubleshooting to determine an issue in the different layers of the environment, making this a lot easier to go through the troubleshooting process to pinpoint issues in the environment. I will cover three main areas of BVQ: the alerting engine with traffic light visualization to help you get to the IT health status of the environment in an automated way, and with predefined dashboards for the multi-vendor IT environment, giving you that end-to-end visibility into the storage, compute, and network, as well as our reporting capability for performance and capacity usage insight when you're going through a project of upgrades or capacity and usage reporting to high-level management. All right, let me go directly into the demo. This is our BVQ Systems Health Map that gives you that visibility into the environment. It's set up with our predefined alerts, and it gives you this visibility into the VMware, for example, the storage as well as the SAN side. I will focus on the VMware side. The traffic light visualization can be used to help and ease the daily IT activities of administering the environment. Here you can see in error or red state the items that need to be tackled and taken care of first to stabilize the environment. The warm or warnings issues would be highlighted in orange, and if everything is okay, it would be in green. I want to mention here that we can also display this based on categories. So the different categories that BVQ alerts on would be performance, as well as configuration items, as in order to check if the environment is following best practices, as well as capacity, status, and system limits. So for example, if we go into one of these, let's say VM high CPU usage, I can easily go in here for more details. It would list immediately all of the components or objects that are affected. In this case, the VMs are affected by high CPU usage. I would like to mention here that not only does it list the objects that are affected, but it gives a description of the issue with a potential impact and suggested action, with a direct link to the VMware knowledge base. So not only do we tell you and inform you of the issues, but we also give guidance on how to resolve those. Okay, if we go into one of these, for example, this VM, immediately you can see where this VM is hosted by a specific host. It'll list the host name and the vCenter. It will also give you a chart of the performance, or in this case, the CPU utilization over time, as well as the CPU utilization of the host that is that this VM is running on, so that you can then immediately see if there's enough CPU resources to allocate to this VM and help resolve and mitigate the issue. So not only do we give you the specific metrics and help you discover the issues, but we give you all of the components that are related to that discovered issue, so that way you can have all that information insight to make the decision to resolve the problem. Let's see. I also want to show you here the the configuration items that BVQ alerts on. For the VMware environment, for example, we alert on the system limits. On the configuration side, we have several alerts. I would like to mention that these can be all enabled easily or disabled. For example, on the memory and virtual disk, we alert on that. Used VM data store, CPU sockets usage, those are some examples. On the provisioning side, it alerts on the VM CPU low usage, memory, capacity as well. I would like to mention here that we also alert on the VMware file system, the VMFS, if it's running out of space, the potential impact, and the suggested action. Going back to the configuration, I want to mention that we also alert on the virtual NIC. Now, this feature has been added to inform about the reservation set and bandwidth limit set on the virtual NIC, with all of the potential impact details and suggested action, how to resolve this issue. And on the storage side, for example, for NetApp, we also provide alerts on system limits, as well as configuration, capacity, and performance. Let's see. Here we have the performance. On the Brocade side, we have also status, performance, and transmission alerts on that. On the NetApp side, again, we have the configuration information alerts on the spare disks in the aggregate, Node HA, broadcast domain, as well as the, let's see, performance, latency on the aggregates, Ethernet physical port usage, etc. Now, moving on to the monitoring dashboards. This is our virtual machine monitoring dashboard. The monitoring dashboards are predefined, and they stand out because they include all the metrics related to the specific component that you're monitoring on. For example, the CPU utilization, including the ready, cold stop, and swap wait time, virtual disk data rate, memory utilization. And I want to mention here that you can select a specific time frame, and this is applied to all of the metrics that are part of this dashboard, not only to specific ones. This gives you the ability to then compare the other components or resources in the environment to get an overall look of the stability of the environment. And it's easy to go through the troubleshooting process because you're looking at the components in the same time frame. Okay, and also you don't have to go through the manual work of setting up dashboards and selecting specific metrics. This is all ready and predefined for you. The next dashboard that I want to mention is the VM host to storage. So this is where the end-to-end visibility comes in. This is related to storage. So starting from the host side, this would be the read and write data rate from all of selected hosts that I selected here to monitor. And it shows all of the virtual machines that are running on that host and gives you the performance information as far as host SCSI disk data rate. You can look at the peaks in the specific time interval where these occur, so you can determine if there are bottlenecks or not in this area. Also, the LUN data rates. Now, going into the storage area, it provides the SCSI disk data rates, so you can match on the specific time frame where you saw bottleneck on the VMs to the storage side. In this case, this host is, or this VM is using external storage. So it lists the data rates read and write of the external volumes that are being used by this specific host. And it helps you determine which host is causing an overusage on the volumes. Also lists the SCSI disk data latencies and the latencies on the volumes. On the network side, the host adapter, storage adapter metrics are also included, as well as the host physical NIC. It does not include any data for the SAN fiber channel ports because in this specific example, there's no SAN connected to this environment. This next monitoring dashboard gives you an overview of high-level overview of the usage of the entire environment. So at the vCenter level, I can select several vCenters and see the CPU memory utilization, as well as the, let's see here, the CPU details of the whole environment, the memory details, and also the capacity details in usage over time. I want to point out here that the events are also listed for the whole environment. I've selected the last 12 hours. So not only can we show the events here in this same dashboard for specific areas, not only for the last minutes, but also for a longer time frame, such as hours or even days or weeks. And an example would be, we have a customer where they were trying to figure out where a performance issue appeared all of a sudden, and they wanted to see what had occurred as far as events in the last week or few days before this happened. They use this monitoring dashboard to check the specific time frame and look for any changes or events in the environment. They were able to pinpoint the performance issue right away because they were able to go back in time and see what had occurred. And in this specific example, there was an event or a change that happened in the environment that caused that performance issue. They were able to pinpoint it in a very efficient way. All right. Let's see. Now I would like to mention, go over the monitoring dashboard for the storage side. And not only the storage side, but also from the storage NetApp to the VMware environment. So here we're seeing the volume, IO load, and data rates for all of the volumes that are using the NetApp storage. Okay, and you can go through each one and highlight and hover over all the peaks to determine what that data traffic IO rate or data rate was in a specific time frame or peak interval. Now here, since I've selected from the top fields, the cluster and the NetApp volume, so I've selected 3 different volumes. And here now going into the VMware section, it lists the specific performance of those volumes that are using that, the VMs, the virtual machines that are using that specific volume that I've selected. So here you can see the overall traffic IO rate, the latency peaks of the volume, the aggregate traffic IO rate, and overall aggregate latency peaks. This helps you determine which VMs are overloading a specific volume. Now going into the next area, which is the VMware section, you can see the VM LUN IO rate and data rate, disk data rates, the VM virtual disk data rates, and determine where this, in the specific time frame this is occurring, and pinpoint bottlenecks in the environment. You can determine which VMs are causing a load on the volume. Also, it's included the latency peaks. So as I scroll down, I can see the same information for each VM that is running on that specific volume or using that specific volume. This is the end-to-end visibility that you can obtain by using BVQ from our predefined monitoring dashboards. Next, I would like to cover reporting. So we have several templates that are predefined here for, let's see the VMware environment. We have several reports: VMware resource utilization, environment overview, cluster technical overview. And you can schedule these reports and share the link with management that if they need to look at the overall usage, capacity usage, resource usage of the VMware environment, for example, for planning purposes when you're working in upgrade projects. Let's see. This is an example of output of a report that you can share with management. It provides tables and also performance charts of the utilization of the resources over time. Last but not least, I would like to share with you about the integration with ITSM and BI applications. So BVQ can be a discovery source to map the complete infrastructure monitored by BVQ into ServiceNow, into the ServiceNow CMDB. And second, ServiceNow incidents and tickets can be created automatically from the BVQ alerts. I want to share with you this cool topology overview. It's a discovery source map that shows the integration of BVQ into the ServiceNow CMDB. So this is in ServiceNow. You can see here the BVQ VMware vCenter and all of its components. So there's several vCenters here listed with the mapping of all of its components. BVQ is ready and uses the scripted APIs to pull in all of these alert rules into ServiceNow, and also all of the topology component information of the infrastructure that is monitored by BVQ into ServiceNow, and show you this discovery map of all of those components. This could be an option to use BVQ as a discovery source instead of the ServiceNow discovery source. This could mean savings in the whole cost and budgeting for that specific feature. Second, let's see, this is, if you hover over each of the components in the topology map, you can see all of the events related to that specific component. So that's how also that visibility is given for this mapping. And that's what I have. Thank you for your time. We do have a few questions. All right. The first question coming in is about installation. What are the requirements for installing and running BVQ? So BVQ is installed on-prem. If you spin up a VM, we'll give you the information about the requirements of the VM resources, CPU, memory, and storage. You spin up a VM and we help you with that installation. It usually takes about 30 minutes, mostly an hour, and we give you all of the prerequisites. The second question coming in is about, let's see, it's about support. What other platforms are supported? Okay, on the compute side, in addition to VMware, the IBM Power VM environment is supported. On the storage side, the NetApp that we covered today, and the IBM Spectrum Virtualize, as well as the IBM, the EMC storage. On the SAN side, the Brocade and Cisco platforms are supported. And does it require any agents? No, we pull information for the VMware environment from an official API, VMware API. We pull that information from the vCenters directly, and that also applies to NetApp. We use a REST interface for that as well. Right, thank you. And if you're ready to try BVQ, contact us at svasoftware.com. Thank you for your time.